Thank you all for attending. My name is Jim Carroll, and today we're going to talk about the Advanced Solutions ShipStation integration tool. At Advanced Solutions, we have modules for supply chain industries and also finance. And essentially, all of our products augment core Acumatica. They're written in Acumatica. They're designed to be either cost-effective or to provide advantage in terms of competing against other ERP vendors. And we look to sell into markets that are currently not available for Acumatica. In that regard, we have a tool that integrates ShipStation, and the core technology also provides an interface to warehouse management software that's used at third-party logistics companies. Today, we're going to focus on our ShipStation module. And at a 10,000-foot view, one might consider how an order comes in either via a website or EDI or a human being. And what our tool allows us to do is sync that sales order with ShipStation. In the warehouse at our local facility or one of many warehouses, as Acumatica is a multi-warehouse solution, or at third-party warehouses. And as the data goes to ShipStation, information like the tracking number and the ship date will come back. Similar picture, but here we've got a website involvement like Shopify or BigCommerce through the e-commerce connector into Acumatica, out to the warehouse, back through Acumatica, and then back to the ShipStation. At Acumatica, we speak a lot about digital transformation, and this tool helps. Often we come to situations where either the website or the order site talks directly to ShipStation, and then after the fact, accounting is upgraded. With our solution, the order or the website can send orders to Acumatica, Acumatica to the ShipStation, and then back. And the benefit is that you maintain your inventory control in this scenario. Similar picture, with our solution, you not only can have ShipStation in your Acumatica warehouse, but you're able to allow a third-party warehouse utilize the Acumatica users or your ShipStation at a 3PL or many 3PLs. And the way that would work is, as the order comes in either by hand or by the website, you can generate an automatic business event or a business event that triggers an automatic ship notification to go out to ShipStation, ship the product, and then update the Acumatica warehouse inventory control system, provide a tracking number, etc., for the benefit of the customer. So with our solution, we both support ShipStation as well as integrations to warehouse management solutions. Key thing is the ship carrier integration module from Acumatica is not required. So our API that goes between Acumatica and your one-to-many ShipStations on the cloud is supported by our API without that additional expense. And essentially the ShipStation tool that we're going to demonstrate in a moment allows you to treat ShipStation as the shipping engine in your warehouse. It's 100% integrated in Acumatica. We're going to show you that in a moment, both in terms of how it complements the create shipments situation in Acumatica and lines up the various, ship delivery services like overnight or 2-day, etc. There's an integration with ShipStation that essentially takes the ship packet information, name, address, carrier, etc., and then lines that up. So with that, I'm going to turn it over now to Jake, who's going to do the demonstration. If you have any questions, please put them into the question and answer system that we have available for us. And I'll stop sharing now, Jake, and allow you to take over. Change presenter, Jake. Yes. Okay, you're on.
Thank you, Jim. And thank you everybody who's joining us today. I am still waiting for that little notification that I'm presenter. There you go. And actually, Jim, if you don't mind, giving me some kind of verbal thumbs up that you can see my screen.
I can see your screen. We're in Acumatica.
Perfect. That's exactly where we want to be, at least to start. So we are in my Acumatica demo environment, where you can see here that we have our ShipStation plugin integrated here, and we'll spend some time inside of Acumatica. And as we get down the road here, we'll spend some time in our ShipStation environment as well. But where I'd like to begin is very briefly coming into our sales order workspace, where, as you would imagine, most of the customizations are running. And just briefly touch on what it takes to set up our integration between Acumatica and ShipStation. Establishing the connection between the two sites is very easy, assuming that you have ShipStation API credentials to plug into our setup. As long as you have those API information, you're able to identify how your warehouses are configured inside of ShipStation. That's about all the setup that is required to start sending order information from Acumatica to ShipStation. This is a new demo environment. I was able to configure this in about 90 seconds, and I would not consider myself a very technical person. So as far as setup goes, very easy. All that's needed is these pieces of key information from your ShipStation environment, and optionally, you can identify an order prefix to accompany shipments that go from Acumatica to ShipStation, which could be helpful in an environment where the third-party warehouse or the remote warehouse that you're using might be receiving orders from multiple stores. This can just help yours be identified and differentiate them from any other shipments that are sitting in that ShipStation environment. So setup, very easy to do. Okay. With that being said, we'll go back into our sales order workspace, and we will create a new sales order that we will use to send over to our ShipStation. So just like any other time in Acumatica, as I'm putting a sales order together, the first thing that I need to identify is who my customer is. And once I have my customer identified, I can begin to identify what I'm going to be selling to this customer. I'm a big fan of Acumatica's Lego products, so that's what we're going to go with here. And from this point, from the sales rep or the customer service rep's perspective, everything should look and feel exactly like core Acumatica, because the integration that we're running here and the ultimate fulfillment really shouldn't affect how they're doing their jobs. So once we have our sales orders created, just like we would create them in any other Acumatica instance, we can go ahead and create a shipment just like we would in any Acumatica instance, either manually here or from our processing sales orders processing center. Now, just for the sake of maintaining a single workflow here, I'm going to manually create my shipment. And now we're still taking a look at a regular shipment inside of Acumatica, which for all intents and purposes looks exactly like a regular shipment, except for two key things. Number one, we have this TPW tab now at the end of my shipment record, which is going to be where we can actually see the status of our shipment in our third-party warehouse in our ShipStation environment once we send it over. You'll also see this button up here to notify TPW that there is a new shipment available for them to process. So just like in Acumatica, I could have manually created the shipment from the sales order, I can manually communicate this shipment and its details to my ShipStation environment. But more practically, we would use our process shipments center, which functions exactly like any other processing center in Acumatica. So once our shipments are identified and we are able to create them based on current inventory levels and the like, we're able to use our processing center on however often of a basis we need to, on whatever defined cadence we need to schedule this processing to happen, to send our open shipments to our third-party warehouse or to our ShipStation environment. So I only have a single shipment here now, but I'm going to go ahead and process it, and this will take our open shipments and send it over to ShipStation. Okay, so a few seconds later, we have a successful process. Now, if we come back to my ShipStation and we give this a little refresh, at the top of my screen here, we have shipment number 4369 coming over from Acumatica less than a minute ago. So it's a very quick integration. I can define that notification to happen as often as I need to. And you can see it doesn't take long for it to be communicated over to my ShipStation environment. Now, this isn't a ShipStation demo per se. This is a ShipStation integration demo. So I don't want to spend a ton of time talking about how to fulfill shipments within ShipStation. So for the sake of expedience here, what I'm going to do is just select that shipment that we're taking a look at, and we can mark it as shipped. But as I say that out loud, and as we're talking about visibility between two systems, what I would like to just very quickly show is if we come back into our shipment record and we refresh this now, I do want to point out that our shipment record is going to be indicating the fact that we have sent a fulfillment request over to our third-party warehouse. So at any point, the sales rep or the service rep who was responsible for this original sales order and this original shipment could come into the shipment and see whether or not we've sent this over to our third-party warehouse for fulfillment. And we'll see the status update again once it is fulfilled, but I just want to highlight that visibility that is occurring between the two systems as details are communicated from one to the other. Okay. So now we can come back into our ShipStation environment, identify the shipment that we want to work with. And again, since this isn't necessarily a ShipStation demo, I just want to mark this particular shipment as shipped. Okay. Now, I could have selected a ship via within my Acumatica instance, either on the sales order or at the shipment record. But as Jim was explaining in his introduction, one potential benefit of this integration is that we can eliminate the shipping carrier integration from Acumatica. And if it is totally up to the discretion of your third-party warehouse or who's ever operating your ShipStation to rate shop and to select the ship via themselves, we can leave this blank for them to select themselves. And then, of course, whatever ship via they go with, as they generate the tracking number, which I'll do manually today, that information is going to write back into the package details of Acumatica. So this can, if desired, put the responsibility of rate shopping out of Acumatica's hands and into ShipStation's hands, or the third-party hands if this is a third-party warehouse. Okay. With that marked as shipped, it's going to drop out of our manual orders awaiting shipment screen in ShipStation. We'll see that it has been marked as shipped. That's the shipment that we were just taking a look at. And so now, if I come back into my shipment record inside of Acumatica, just like before, I can manually come to the shipment and check to see if there's confirmation from my third-party warehouse yet, or optionally, I could use my processing center to do the same exact thing at the end of the day to see how many of those shipments that have been sent with a fulfillment request have actually been fulfilled. But in our case, I'll just do that manually from the shipment record so we can watch our status update. As I check for TPW confirmation, we'll see that this has now been marked as fully shipped within my third-party warehouse, and this order is going to be fulfilled. And at that point, we can have all of the Acumatica automation that you're already familiar with kick in, whether it's confirming the shipment inside of Acumatica, updating our inventory upon shipment confirmation, and then generating an invoice if this product hasn't already been prepared for. So even though we are using two separate systems, Acumatica and ShipStation, because we can automate that request for fulfillment and that notification of fulfillment at whatever frequency we need to using our processing center, we can achieve very, very close to real-time inventory, even if our warehouse is completely third party and inventory is being, or orders are being fulfilled from a third party warehouse. As soon as that shipment is fulfilled, we can update our inventory in Acumatica and maintain accurate visibility into inventory levels at our third party warehouse. So that is that's a brief overview of how our integration works. For the most part, it looks like core Acumatica functionality, except that all of the fulfillment is being taken out of our hands and put into the hands of a third-party provider. But as we remove the responsibility of fulfillment, just because we're removing that responsibility doesn't mean we're giving up any visibility. We'll still know exactly what status the shipment is in, and then we'll be able to update our inventory as soon as that shipment is fulfilled. Okay.
Thank you very much, Jake. Good demonstration. Just add again that all the automation capabilities of Acumatica are included. So upon shipment, if you wanted to send a notification to the buyer that the shipment's on the way with the tracking number, that obviously can be done with business event technology out of Acumatica. The price of the product, if you're on the advanced edition, it's $3,450 on a SaaS basis. If you're on the small business, it's $1,450. So it's competitively priced. Again, you don't need the ship carrier integration interface because our API provides that functionality for ShipStation. And then another thing that you can do is that you can utilize the same tool to include both ShipStation as well as integrations to third-party warehouse software like HighJump or Oracle Warehouse or Manhattan and Associates, etc. So if you do some shipping out of your own warehouse with ShipStation and then you use a third-party warehouse, in this case, we're providing solutions that general purpose APIs like Celigo or Jitterbit can provide, but we do that at a much more cost-effective rate. So if there's any, as a result of this webinar, we'll make this video available to you. We'll be happy to answer any questions. We're in a situation where if you have questions, we ask you to write them out, and then we'll be happy to respond. And I'll wait for a couple of minutes to do so. We've got this product installed, tested, all that good stuff. It's been around for, in the ShipStation version, about a year. The integration with the warehouse management software, which frankly is more complex, has been around for a couple of years. And we're also on the marketplace. So we'll give it a couple more seconds. I don't see any questions. So we very much appreciate your attendance. And you'll, as a standard function, will follow up with a copy of the video and then our price list and our data sheets and that type of thing. So thank you so very, very much. Appreciate your time. Good job, Jake.
Thanks, Jim, and thank you all again.